All right, it is time for talk time, and we're looking at the president's speech for the Christmas celebration. So if there's something President Muhammadu Buhari wants to see happen soon, is for the people of the Niger Delta region to embrace dialogue in finding a lasting solution to the challenges there.
Now, that wish was expressed when the president hosted a high-powered delegation at the Aso Rock Villa on Christmas Day. A State House correspondent, Maria Lashainde, reports on that.
Christmas is a time to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, visit loved ones, exchange gifts, share and spread love. This explains the presence of this delegation led by the FCT Minister Mohammed Bello to the presidential villa. The team is here to pay Christmas homage to the first family. On the entourage are the Catholic Archbishop of Nigeria, Cardinal John Onayekon, cabinet ministers, federal legislators, leaders of the Christian community, royal fathers and elders. President Muhammadu Buhari capitalizes on the visit to bear his minds on the prevailing security and socio-economic challenges facing the country. It seeks more patience from the people as his government works tirelessly to make a turnaround.
Whether it is an organization or a country, you have to secure it before you can manage it properly. If there is no security, nothing can work. Because there is no money saved, no infrastructure built, NEPA is still our main problem. The old rail is dilapidated, it has to be repaired from Lagos up to Kaduna, from Port Harcourt up to Maiduguri, and then the new line that we want to develop from Lagos to Calabar. If we can get those infrastructure done, all constituencies will have something to do. The number of Nigerians that will get jobs, we can't even know.
The visiting team is particularly full of appreciation to the government for winning the war against terrorism and ridding the notorious Sambisa forest of insurgents.
For the tremendous success that the military achieved by clearing Sambisa forest. This is a milestone that we are all very proud of. And we do pray that, inshallah, what has occurred in respect of the phenomena called Boko Haram never ever happens again in this our beautiful country.
We pray for more grace, we pray for more wisdom, we pray for more strength, so that this administration will continue to strive higher and higher, especially in the area of fighting corruption.
My advice to Nigerians is for us to love one another, to be our brother's keeper, and to ensure that there's harmony in the country. That is the only way we can progress. Any country that does not, that there's no peaceful coexistence, then it cannot survive.
In the spirit of the season, cards and gifts are presented to the president as the guests wish him and the country a prosperous 2017. Maria Olashainde, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, it's really an interesting one for Christmas, I must say. But joining us now is social commentator Victor Okhai. Thank you very much for coming, Victor.
Thank you.
In compliments of the season.
Same here, same to you.
And from our Port Harcourt studio, we have a social development analyst, Borve Paago. Borve, good morning.
Thank you, Mike and Busala. Good morning and Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas to you too. Now, Victor, let's start it this way.
Okay.
The president has been, even from the days of his campaign, took a stand when it came to the issue of security in the country. You just heard him mention that again, as to his wish is that there is total security apart from other things he talked about. I wanted to start from that window because before you do anything, there has to be relative calm around. If you put Nigeria on a platform right now, how calm do you think the country is?
Well, obviously the hottest spot right now is, just before now was the northeast, but right now southern Kaduna. There's a systematic genocide going on there, and this needs to be addressed. And I think that, I mean, like you said, if there's no security, then there's no development. And so I'm worried that, you know, that particular, because that particular sport is hot for so many reasons. The Islamic movement, what's it called now, Zakir's group, is in Kaduna. The Shia group is in that area. Right now it's like, what you have there is like, with them it's like a piece of a graveyard. Anything can erupt from that place. Then the Christians in southern Kaduna that are being systematically killed right now by, well, some say herdsmen, some say, I don't know whatever name you want to call them and all of that. That needs to be addressed. We're talking about victory in the Northeast, but remember that's how it all started, you know? So I think that we need to go beyond paying lip service and doing propaganda. For me in the Niger Delta, as far as I'm concerned, blowing of pipelines, there is no threat to human life. But the economic threat is a real and present danger that cannot be ignored. Let's not make any mistake about that. But in terms of secure threats to human lives and the rest, there's a lot of that, particularly in the middle belt, in the north, and in farmlands in the south as well. And these need to be addressed.
Okay, all right, let's go to Borve now. Borve, in President Buhari's speech, the one sent out, it says that Nigerians should learn from Christ the virtue of peace. How does that resonate with the Niger Delta unrest?
Sorry, I didn't get you well, please.
President Buhari says Nigerians should emulate Christ when it comes to peace. So I'm asking, how does that resonate with the Niger Delta unrest?
Yeah, thank you very much, Pusula, and again, Merry Christmas. We expect such messages at Christmas, and it's everybody's desire to live in a peaceful environment. However, there are roles that must be played by the government and every individual in this country. As much as possible, various strata of our society preaches peace. The religious societies in Nigeria are preaching this peace, and also the traditional institutions are preaching peace. Socially, institutions want peace to reign so that people can have their needs met. And in the Niger Delta, which has been characterized by prolonged violence over the years, we can't ask for anything better than peace. And so it is strategic, the president's message for peace during Christmas and even beyond, so that human lives in the Niger Delta can actually be improved upon. The president can do more in also ensuring, not just by military action, but through his own engagement. He should have a fatherly role, a fatherly engagement with the people in the Niger Delta, such that they will be convinced that it's not just about the message of peace, but it's also about an action of peace that he is initiating, driving, and sustaining in the region. These are the ingredients that will couple up to ensure that the message of peace do not only resonate, but becomes a reality in the Niger Delta. I do hope that going forward in 2017, he will improve on his actions. And I want him, not just him alone, but all the institutions working under him, not just the presidency, every other institution that has been set up in the Niger Delta or to support the developmental cost in the Niger Delta, to also engage in practical actions that will ensure that the message of peace is seen in diverse forms by the people of the Niger Delta. Then and only then will the Niger Delta people feel the need to continue to work drastically to also sustaining this peace. Remember, communities have been sacked, lives have been lost, people have been displaced, properties have been destroyed over the years, and these are signs of a failing region, a failing state. And people are expecting that there will be a turnaround in the process of rebuilding these pieces that are falling apart over the years. Now, the president being who he is, coming at this point in time in Nigeria and trying to redirect the effort of government and governance towards ensuring that the actual needs of the people are met, can only be seen as rebuilding the Niger Delta when he comes down, engage with the people, and tell them that I need peace in the Niger Delta.
Okay.
On a comparative note,
yeah, but Bove, we'll come back to you on this. Let's go on a break, and we come to dwell more on the program on TVC Breakfast. Stay with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching TVC Breakfast, and on this segment, we are discussing the president's message to all Nigerians. He has been calling on Nigerians to embrace peace, to ensure that there's calm, to ensure that they get involved in productive activity. And we have with us in the studio Victor Okhai. We've been talking about this. We also have Borve Paago joining us from Port Harcourt in our Port Harcourt studio. Now, Victor, when you were establishing earlier on, you used the word, you mentioned systematic genocide when you were referring to the killings in southern Kaduna. What's going on there? Can we liken it to genocide?
No, but obviously, I mean, it's easy to dismiss it and say these are herdsmen. If you listen to what the governor said some time ago, he probably is aware of those behind it. Not only is he aware, he's had discussions with them, he's negotiated with them, and he's tried to pay them off. You understand what I'm saying? And lately I'm hearing that, okay, they are aggrieved that they are not letting the animals or they are attacking the animals and all of that. So it means that somebody somewhere is aware of what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? And if you can identify, zero down to know those behind it, and it persists, even in spite of your negotiations and payoff, then obviously there's more.
Why are they not persecuted, really?
Exactly.
They are known and identified.
You know? And then there's the other lie that is used to cover up and say, oh, they're coming from outside Nigeria. Fine. If they're from outside Nigeria, why don't you engage, you know what I mean, with their place of origin? And what happens to the borders? What happens to the issue of, it means therefore that if you know that, it means the immigration should be aware. It means therefore to have a system
that should really be an indictment on the Nigerian Immigration and Security Service.
Exactly.
If you can identify these people to have come from the other countries and they're coming to cause mayhem to your citizens.
Yes, you know, so there's more than meets the eye. You know, there's people just go and wipe out whole villages and communities and all of that. Obviously, these things are targeted. And, I mean, I'm a little disappointed that the president has just left it at the hands of the governor, El Rufai, in spite of what he said. You don't say that. This is a threat to national security, because if anything happens there, you know, it affects, it distracts from what the federal government is doing, because obviously you're going to take attention away from other more serious issues to attend to that. To just leave it, for me, the governor has lost it there. He shouldn't, if he was really on top of the situation, having identified, known these people, discussed with them, paid them off, and they're still coming, then it's time for the federal government to take over. And to just leave it and say there's a chief security officer there, he's on top of the situation, and people are still dying, I don't think that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Bove, let's come back to you now and the issue of the Niger Delta. You said the president should do more, the government should do more. I'd like to take you to the 2017 budget. You know that the money for amnesty has been increased, the vote for amnesty has been increased to 65 billion naira for 2017. Now compare that to what you have been rebuilding the Northeast, which is 45 billion naira. So there's an increase really just for the boys and the creeks. Are you happy with that? Or will that bring peace?
Thank you, Busala. The 2017 budgetary figures for amnesty in the Niger Delta, it's actually a welcome development, and it's part of the response that we have been agitating for. However, the president and presidency and institutions in Nigeria need to understand that it's not all about budgetary figures. It is about the value that those figures create in the lives of the people. And what are we looking at? We are looking at a region of over 33 million persons. What is the catchment or percentage ratio of the militants that are being captured in this budget under this militancy program for the region? What does this translate to in terms of real value to the society? We are at a point where we should begin to look at the multiplicity of stakeholders in the region other than just focusing on a particular catchment group in the region. I want to buy into what Mr. Okhai in the studio said. A small fragment of a society can actually mean so much in destabilizing the entire society. Where there is conflict like it is in Kaduna today, in just that settlement, it affects the whole of Nigeria. And so what I am saying, the point I am trying to make, is that the president should realize that whatever effort or monies or resources that is being put into the Niger Delta is not for that minute population called militants. It is for the entire population of the Niger Delta. And how sustainable is this? Going forward, how are we going to ensure that this brings or translates to the peace that the president and all Nigerians so desire in the region? If the president is going to do this, and he's going to do it over time, and there is not going to be lip service about this, once you allocate or appropriate monies for any particular activity, there should be follow-up. In the present day Nigeria, we are all condemning several institutions for non-performance, even when they have been set up over the years to addressing the needs that Nigerians are looking for in their local domains. Now, if the Niger Delta is going to know peace, the presidency should come down and engage with the diverse stakeholders in the Niger Delta. We have civil society organizations, we have multiple, and I mean in hundreds and thousands of youth organizations in the area. We have women organizations, we have religious organizations, including both the Christian and Muslim faiths and other traditional faiths that are existing in the region. These people need to sit down and come together with the traditional institutions and also state governments in the Niger Delta region to begin to rediscuss the issues of development and peace building in the Niger Delta. Else, no matter the quantum of naira or dollars that you put into the developmental process in the Niger Delta, it will just be like splashing water into the ocean, because the feelings of the people are not being assuaged. Their needs are not being addressed. Addressing the needs of a section means a parochial attendance to the entire needs of the Niger Delta. So while the president has thought it wisely that such monies should be increased over time, he should also add up that engaging with these stakeholders, no matter who they are, and bringing all of them to a table is a key to the success of the monies that he has budgeted for,
all right,
for the Niger Delta in 2017.
Okay, Borve, we'll come back to you. Victor, you want to react to that?
Yeah. Borve has said very many, very many pertinent things, regarding this issue. But I just want to add something. There is a mistake, and I want to say this, that the federal government seems to be making. But before I say that, let me just make a statement here, that discretion is a better part of valor, okay? Militarizing the Niger Delta, as has happened before now, trying to take the army there and all of that never solves any problem. You know that every war would usually end with a dialogue. So it's usually better or best if you can start with dialogue from the beginning. But beyond that, what is do we have a strategic master plan for the Niger Delta? There are people who have been sent abroad to train as underwater welders and so many other, skills, very important skills, from the Niger Delta under the first the amnesty under the amnesty program. Do we have any plan for integrating them? They come back, they have these skills, and they're not engaged anywhere. What is the government doing, for instance? I mean, Why don't you look at the area? Fine, there may be a group of people called militants right now. But remember, there are also potential militants who are not yet in that group, who can join that group tomorrow. If you can't, while you are taking care of those who are already in it, you know, those ones who are not there are the potential and ever-present and ready danger. What is wrong with elevating Port Harcourt, Warri, and Calabar ports to the status of the Lagos port? So many things can happen. You will, first of all, the process of construction will engage a lot of young people. You understand? I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
The process of that will engage a lot of people. When that finishes, a lot of jobs will come, because when these ports, people are going to offload, there will be more clearing and freight forwarding agents, logistics people, and all of that. The people there are lots of fishermen there. What are we doing about getting these people busy? Are we thinking, for instance, about, helping them preserve the fish that they get there? Are we thinking, for instance, even if it's just cooperatives and all that will own trawlers instead of the Chinese stealing our fishes from offshore and all of that? Things that will practically engage the people. Look at what is peculiar to that area. Keep the people busy, engage them, and then create avenues for them.
Sorry, we don't have all the time anymore, but Borve, we just have less than a minute. Let me ask you this question before we go now. The amnesty program, how long do you think it should be on?
The amnesty program should be designed to be a sustained kind of program. It shouldn't be like a 1 or 2 year program. It should be it should be integrated continually in the national budget, because you need peace and you need a lot of things to be done to assuage the feelings of the people.
In that case, it's going to be forever. The people who are being sent abroad, Victor just mentioned that now, send them on skills. Some of them go to all over the world to train. They shouldn't be independent?
Sorry, I'm saying that projects have a start and end date. That's what we know. And so it can be done for like 5 years, and then you can review it and then take it up again. But again, like Mike Okhai said, the issues about other events in the Niger Delta that are not being addressed. I am Ogoni, the cleanup exercise. These are activities that will engage the youth of the area and bring people to realizing that government has plans for their development. Talking about fishing, the fishing in the region is completely zero at the moment because of our polluted rivers. And if the cleanup does not commence, since June 2nd of 2016 till today, no further activity has commenced in that area.
All right,
people
Borve.
are beginning to think.
Yeah, Borve, I'm really sorry. That's so much time can permit us right now, but I must thank you for joining us on the program. We're going to look into this issue. How long should amnesty really last? It's something we really have to talk about. But Victor, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I hope I smiled enough.
All right, this is where we come to the end of today's edition of the program. Tomorrow we'll be back again with other issues. Stay with us on TVC generally, because we talk about these things from different perspectives to bring you more understanding. I am Mike Okwoche. Have a great day.
And I am Busola Mitumashi. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.